kid with a dream and a heart made of steel. I sift through the data, the left and the right. No bias, no agenda, just seeking the light. They laugh at my setup, my low-res stream, but my words cut deeper than the corporate screen. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. I'm the spark in the dark, the glitch in the code. Carving my lane on this uncharted road. Million subs, no viral fame, but I'm owning the truth and I'm changing the game. I'll scream till my lungs give out, till the signal's dead. Every word that I speak is the blood that I bled.
Thank you very much, sir. For a gentleman and a scholar.
No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough.
You know what? I never actually looked at that video. Because I'm a horrible friend, apparently. So, you know what? Give me a second. Why am I wearing a dress and did you know that your camera's on? A, no it wasn't. And B, I'm not in a dress. So I don't know what you're talking about. I might be a boomer, but I wasn't born yesterday. It's not a dress either. That's just my beard blending in my shirt. Let me see here. Hey, Patriot, you have arrived. Let me do this real quick. I'm a horrible friend. I know, man, I've been busy, okay? I even had the wife bring the kids and come to work with me today to help out. Let me, without opening Discord, dude, is it on your YouTube channel? Hang on, let me take a look. And is it something, well, if it's on your YouTube channel, I can play it on here, so that's fine. Alright, let me see. Oh, yeah, Iron Grip. Lyric video stop processor censorship. He's gonna edit the video playback and pretend it didn't happen. I don't have that level of insecurity. I can accept my flaws. Dude, why am I not subscribed on here? What the hell, man? Anyways, guys, how are you all doing? I feel like I just saw most of you because we streamed on... Hey, we streamed on Friday, didn't we? So we covered some of this stuff before. Well, we'll get into some more of it. There's some other stuff about Collective Shout. There's some new shit to go over. So in the meantime, let me go ahead and pull this up. 6-minute video, that's not too bad. We can play that while we're waiting for everyone else to get in here. I'll use you as filler, man. Hopefully that's not too offensive to you. Mr. Gorbachev, take the dressing down. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. Stream bit Saturday too, which shocked you. Oh, okay, it was Saturday, not Friday. My bad. That's why I feel like it was just yesterday, because it was only 2 days ago. Yeah, no, I did not stream on Friday. I streamed on Saturday. That's what it was. Alright, hang on a second. I'm going to temporarily turn off alerts. That way it doesn't interrupt it. Let me get rid of my background music here. I'm fluffy enough. I'm okay being filler. Pirate Software vid you put up was pretty fair in my opinion. Yeah, so Cool Pig, the thing is, like, I don't know if you guys know the YouTuber Mark Fox. I don't know any of his content. I think he makes YouTube videos. I can't remember. He follows me on Twitter. And I posted the link to my video on Twitter. And he immediately shared his personal thoughts about the whole thing. Like, well, you know, these are just allegations. And she's probably just trying to get him in trap. Like, I'm not claiming the man did everything that they're saying he did. All I'm saying is these are more accusations and allegations after a career where he has had allegation after allegation. So it's building a trend, even if it turns out to be nothing. That's all it was. But yeah, I try to be fair. I try to not be, like, you know, super biased about it and stuff. Get to try to pronounce buccal. No, I'm not gonna fall for that one again. That's not even the word. Hey, Patriot, what's the word that I can't pronounce? I'm sure if he's here, he'll actually know what I'm talking about. There was a word that you guys tripped me up on. Oh God, like a freaking month or two ago, and I cannot for the life of me remember what the word was. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play your little music video while we're waiting. Hang on a second. I'm gonna try to actually be able to hear it. Wait, but wait, what are you talking about dress attire? I am in shorts and my Meta PC's shirt that I got when I was in Arizona. I don't know what you're talking about. Are we talking about, did I post something that I shouldn't have on Discord? I'm trying to... I've barely even been on Discord for like a few days. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Oh, man.
Click, clack, systems lock. Your freedom's on the clock. Steel chains, digital veins. They don't want you stopped.
Oh, that's because I've done that before. Yeah, I've dressed in drag for Halloween. Yeah, I can't remember the word either. No, it wasn't buccal. No. It was a big word. Yeah, but Cool Pig, that's not the word we're talking about. It was a big word. It was a bit of a tongue twister.
They gatekeep every dollar, each bite that you spend. Algorithms judge you, decide where your dreams end. Crusades to clean the world, they ban the coded tales. Yet real crime thrive unblocked while their power prevails. Pornhub hums, OnlyFans runs untouched by their decree. But stories spun in pixel dust are hunted ruthlessly.
Mesothelioma. See, I can pronounce that one. Dude, I used to take methylprednisolone before I was on my Crohn's medication. That shit's the bomb.
Iron grip, plastic kings. The future's looking grim. They'll lock your coin, your voice, your choice, till you bow to their head.
Nah, dude, I can't remember. It's been so long ago, man. I'm sure if somebody else is in the chat at some point tonight, they might remember. Yeah, DB, I like the screamy rock. That's kind of my jam. My kids don't like it so much. I like that kill switch engage stuff.
Down, and it's caved to. They broke without a test. They fear the spark of rebel hearts, the truth that we believe. Ignoring real crimes, darker flood, while fiction's forced to bleed.
Yeah, DB, do you remember the word that I couldn't pronounce that one night? It's been forever, man. It was a tongue twister. Yo, Geekazu. It hasn't been that long. I think it's just been since Saturday. You were here on Saturday, weren't you? Pretty sure you were.
Iron grip, plastic kings, they steal what we earn, buying powers, burning in their digital urn. Censorship's their weapon, aimed only at the fake. Real sins stream unchained, while freedom's at stake. Iron grip, plastic kings, the future's looking grim. They'll lock your coin, your voice, your choice, till you bow to their hem.
Yeah, cool, Big. I owe you a that's what she said when we get to the other screen.
Click clack, systems lock. Your freedom's on the clock. Rise up, break the code, or kneel beneath
Never on the weekends, huh?
their lock. Or kneel beneath their lock.
Well, we'll see if Cage is sober tonight when he drops in. Oh, so you actually have links down below the video, dude. All right, so hang on a second here. Let me see. Let's see. We've reached a point where activist groups like SBI or the latest group of Karen's Collective Shout can scream loud enough to sway global payment processing companies into further pushing censorship. Truth of the matter is, these processing companies have already wanted to push the censorship, and the activist groups are one part of the cog in this grand machine. Pretty much the way it works, dude. The credit card companies are already going to try to put as much control over you as possible. And this is just them enforcing it, you know? This is just them, again, doing the activist bullshit that we've seen. Sets horrible precedents for the future of not only gaming, but all forms of entertainment. Dude, I told you, credit card companies don't want to allow you to buy guns, okay? There's all sorts of shit. Today it starts with something considered NSFW, no matter the actual context. Tomorrow it's anything with a bit of blood or gore. Where does it stop? It should stop with us. 100%. So, article that goes over this topic. Savvy, yep, her Twitter threads and stuff have been awesome. I've actually got one of her Twitter threads as well. Japan's free speech activists and politicians have been working to push against the same sort of censorship control from payment processors in Japan as well, mainly regarding anime and manga, and is now linked to Savvy due to her deep dives. Give him a follow. I didn't actually know who this guy was, but I'll probably have to go and follow him now. Let me go ahead and follow this dude. All right, let me see here. Started with an O. Hey, Burner, no sweat. Burner over on Twitter. NS, now all City needs to do is advertise my merch, her body, my choice, and I'll die a happy man. I mean, I don't know about dying a happy man as far as that goes. But I definitely understand where you're coming from. Majora's Mask Blind, and it might replace Ocarina of favorite Zelda game for me. So, yeah, I've said before, I'll say it again. When I first played Ocarina of Time and I was hoping for a direct sequel, that's where Majora's Mask let me down. Majora's Mask is a fantastic game on its own. I just was really hoping for a sequel, and I didn't get it. And I guess chronologically, the Twilight Princess game is a successor to, of course, Ocarina of Time, but still, different system. Why would any government allow payment processors to have control like this? Because they'll, I mean, so here's the thing. You want to go down like a little conspiratorial rabbit hole. If the government doesn't want people to be able to arm themselves, for example, my example with trying to purchase firearms a year or two ago when my state was starting to change all the laws, and one of my credit cards kept declining the transaction. If the government doesn't want people arming themselves and they're enforcing the payment processors or strong arming them to not allow people to purchase them, it's like, it's two layers of restrictions, essentially. So, apparently you can't see the live chat on these videos, so speeding through isn't as easy. Dude, it's the weirdest thing. People have complained about that before, but when I look at the stream afterwards, the live chat feature is turned on. It's toggled on. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know why those don't appear on my streams after the stream's over. I apologize. I wish that I knew what the hell was going on, but apparently that's just an issue my channel's had. I mean, look, I'm sure it's a me thing because I'm retarded. It wouldn't surprise me at all. They like payment processors having lax laws and the ability to censor at will. Yeah, pretty much. All right, so, in fact, what I could do, DB, I'm going to link your, since this is pertinent to the topic tonight, I'm going to link your video here in the chat, and I'll pin it. There we go. Our poll's stupid. So far, we're at 92% yes. Oh, boy. Burner has joined us on YouTube. And Cage. Gooners. Well, there'll be a small amount of gooning tonight. Confirm this isn't in this video. Ghost Yote drama more. No, dude, that was too recent. That was my stream from like 2 weeks ago, last week or whatever. No, the word that I couldn't pronounce that I gave up on, it was like a month or two ago, man. It's been a while. All right, so real quick, let's do a just check up real quick on Stop Killing Games, because I haven't really covered the initiative itself due to the fact that it's pretty much done. I mean, we've got like, what, 2 days left before it's closed. So Stop Killing Games in Europe is up to 1.4... almost 1.45 million signatures. I mean, I think it's done. I do not believe it's going to get any more because all the freaking momentum has died. It got what it needed and then some, and hopefully it's enough. Hopefully there's enough of a buffer that when they start tossing out signatures, they don't go below 1 million. Otherwise, all this was for nothing, unfortunately. Just had a nap and saw your live. Glad you announced it in Discord. Well, I'm going to announce it in Discord regardless from now on, because apparently my Discord bot... I'm going to turn the TV off so it's not flashing in the background, guys. Hang on a second. Where the hell's my remote? And yes, Quill Pig. Those are not allegations that I ever wore a dress. I, in fact, have worn a dress a couple times. But again, it's only been for comedic... value and for Halloween. So when we're streaming Ninja Turtles again, you say again as if I've ever done it, and I have never done it. Hey, Hook. All right, let me see here. All right, but in regards to the whole Moist Critical guy has been trying to come back on a right-wing arc after his horrible statements about supporting yeah, that was something else. That is something else. That whole Charlie from, Moist Critical saying how he thought that children should be allowed to transition, and then that just bit him right in the ass. Dude, he walked that back so fast. But Daniela looks great in a sundress. Honestly, man, I tell you, it was the weirdest, creepiest thing. I had grown ass men telling me that I had nice legs because I had like hooker boots and fishnets and all that stuff on. Um, it was, yeah, it was kind of a disturbing experience. I'll definitely never do that again. I'll be surprised if my previous comment doesn't get taken down. Oh, about Sydney's good genes. I saw that one. Know about your Blair White fetish? Yeah, no. I might be the only conservative right wing person who doesn't buy into the Blair White bullshit. The Sydney Sweeney backlash. Quillpig, I can't believe it because for me personally, I don't think Sydney Sweeney is like all that, right? I like she's an attractive girl. She has got a nice body, and as far as I know, she's not a great actress. Like most people are watching her because they want to look at her, not because she's like some amazing actress. But just the fact that they got an attractive white blonde girl to do an American Eagle ad and they used the word nice genes, it's like, is she not allowed to be proud of her genetics? It's not even like some sort of weird, fascist, alt-right, white supremacy thing. They're making a joke about genetics. Again, to say that it's fascist to be proud of her genes is to say that it's inherently wrong to be white, right? That's the craziest part. Well, they're always trying to make something a thing, and once in a while, the online right needs to shut up and just like stop talking about it. Because a lot of times, what'll happen is there'll be something that isn't a big deal, and then the right side of the aisle will make it a big deal, and then that just kind of keeps it alive longer than it should have been. So there's like a balance to it, right? She's the only actress that has a chest worth a damn. I don't know about that. There are some other, I would say, well-endowed actresses, maybe not as like young as Sydney Sweeney, maybe ones that are, I hate to say it, but aging out due to like age in Hollywood being a thing, Mathematically the truth. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm married to a white woman. Like that's just my personal preference. But I've also been attracted to many women of different ethnicities. For me personally, it's about the person more than anything else. But can I explain why some men don't get the appeal of Sydney? In this day and age of seeing Insta thoughts all over has desensitized some to natural beauty, so seeing someone natural like her is weird. No, see, but I like natural looking women. I don't want somebody who's all plastic. I don't want somebody who's like a sex doll or the BBL, the massive bloated lips, all the Botox. I'm not into that kind of stuff, like at all. That stuff's disgusting to me. They made it a white thing, yes. Oh, they did. It's crazy. No, I don't think she's all natural, but she looks more natural. You know what I'm saying? Video game Europe won't stop mecha break busts. You're pretty sure it's in that video? Dude, you're gonna have to like multitask and speed through that to figure out that word. Does anybody else in the chat remember a stream where there was a word I couldn't pronounce? I know that DB Wild and Patriot were both there, but they can't remember. Hook, you probably were there. But there was a word that I kept butchering, and I can't even remember now what it was.
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Dude, Susano, what do you think of Wu Chang? Hey, Red Mage, thanks for subbing. Appreciate it. What do you think of Wu Chang? Like, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Because personally, I've turned it on, played it a couple times. Maybe I'm like an hour and a half into it or whatever. I don't know. It seems fine, but like it seems, I don't want to say the game's just phoning it in. It's obviously a decent game. Butchering wash your sister sauce. I've never seen anybody spell it out like that. Unlike Will Smith's cuck wife. Yeah. Trying to think which word it was contextual. Yes, it was I think it was from an article I was reading. You're right. See, okay, so Susano, the game isn't even like running that poorly for me on PC. I'm just not enjoying it. Okay, the story is meh. And that's one of the things for me that I'm like, the story in Black Myth Wukong is so much better. that for me. It's Temu Dark Souls. Thank you. I said the exact same thing. I legit said the exact same thing. Like, that is exactly how I feel about it. All right, so here we were talking about the whole pirate software thing, although there's nothing tonight that we're going to cover as far as pirate software goes. But I did see this ad from VoiceMod, and this is the funniest damn thing, because they actually put this ad out there, or let's just say Twitter video, shitting all over pirate software, and of course hyping up their actual program you can use. Hang on, let me make sure it's loud enough.
Here's how you can sound like pirate software. Go from this voice
I'm gonna have to peel my hot dog.
to this much deeper voice.
In your early 30s, your voice can change as a man.
Just head to our new Voice Lab 2. First, get a good podcaster mic. Then, add a low pitch.
Testing, testing, testing.
The pitch value will depend on how high or deep your voice is to begin with.
Your voice can change as a man.
Official sources state that no voice changer was used on the original recording. Here's how you can sound like pirate software. Go from this
I mean, I think that that's pretty brilliant. And of course, they're like, you know, oh, we're not saying that he's using this or whatever, but it is pretty funny. Souls fatigue? I don't have souls fatigue so much. I just think, honestly, yeah, Patriot, I don't know what the deal is with the chat feature on the live streams. I don't know. Like, give me a second. I don't want to show everything on the back end. That's what she said. God. Oh, I swear to God, I'm 12. Okay. I'm going to open our live stream right now, okay? So here we go. Hey, Oblivion. I'm opening the live stream. I'm going to details. I'm going to customization. Okay, I can show you guys this. There's nothing sensitive, no stream key, nothing like that. All right, all right. So here you go. This right here. Look at this. Okay. Live chat replay. The box is checked. Live chat is checked. Live chat summary is checked. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on, why my live chats don't actually show up on the stream after the stream's over. Because I've had complaints about that numerous times, over and over and over again. And this is a box that stays checked. 38 years ago? What are you talking about? Wu Chang's a hell of a lot harder with some of the bosses than any other game I've played. Harder than First Berserker? Because I've heard some of the bosses on First Berserker are, like, insane. When I stopped playing it after about 5 or 6 hours, I think I was about 5 hours in, I got to that Dragonkin boss, and that guy was nuts. I only played him, like, once or twice before I switched games, because, again, that's what I do, is I just... I'm a serial game jumper. I don't have time to actually finish any games. So... live chats are automatically made unavailable if there's cross language in them. Dude, oh, not me. It's you guys. You guys are the reason I don't have live chat. Okay, well, hey, you know what? I got nothing to apologize for then. Whatever. That's all on you guys. So, you guys in the chat, you know who you are. Just saying. I don't got shit to apologize for now. You can see the live chat replay from the last live cast of... Okay, so it's not every live stream. Interesting. All right. Yeah, so again, you guys know who you are. I don't even have to say anything. Berserker's hard but doable. I'm fighting latency bugs with Wu Chang. Oblivion was here when we bugged on you about the word you wouldn't pronounce. Hey, Oblivion, do you remember that word that I couldn't say? I don't think they're purposefully that hard. Huh. Only the last boss in Kazan was really difficult to me. 3 phases. I almost gave up, but I did it. Yeah, I got to the Dragonkin boss before I stopped playing. Not because I didn't like the game. I actually really enjoyed First Berserker Kazan. I just don't have time. That's the biggest problem I have. You're a good hedgehog. No, Cool Pig, I know it's not you. YouTube started censoring them after the fact. Yeah. I'm going to blame NS, although he's not here for every stream. And then we got Cage with the cock and balls. Really, man? Come on. So, Cage, I will say the one cool thing. If we get moved into a house that has any sort of office at all, okay? Any sort of office. It doesn't have to be the house that we looked at. It just needs to be a house that has a shoebox that I can stream from. I will try to figure out better lighting especially now that I've got my new camera that doesn't do well in low light, but it's got a better quality picture, generally speaking, is I'll try to do like a better lit background or something in here. Well, yeah, you better have heard that, man. I was talking to you. Your YouTube comments were removed more than a few times. I know, Joe Darkness. Everybody's are. Oblivion gets his comments removed all the time, and this man says nothing bad. He's like nothing suggestive, nothing like. I swear to God, Oblivion might be one of the cleanest chatters on this entire channel. Like when I see his comments, they're always super chill, super respectful, nothing that ever skirts the line. So I don't know, man. It's the weirdest thing. Liza P, greater than Wukong, greater than Kazan, greater than Wu Chang. Not hating Wu Chang, though. Yeah, but Wu Chang is just probably... So I haven't played Liza P yet, but I've played Wukong halfway through. Fantastic game. When you get a house. Okay, no. So we have to move. We have to move within the next month or so. We have to get a house because the kids all need their own room. The only thing is going to be if I can get a house big enough to have my own office. That's what it comes down to. It's not if we move or if we move into a house or if it's a place. It's got to have enough room for all of us. I just might not have a better setup than what I have here. That'll be what the determining factor is. Guess to give an example, you can parry most of Hunglan. I don't know. I do a terrible job pronouncing Asian names. Their moves, but you have to press the counter button before the move is telegraphed. Oh, Wedding Crashers. Yeah, Wedding Crashers. The earmuffs thing in a movie with Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell. Yeah. Oh, actually, Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell might have been a different movie. I'm thinking of. Well, Will Ferrell was in that movie too, but Vince Vaughn and God, the stupid blonde guy. What's his name? Holy crap. You got a 4K Insta360 link. It's great. So, for the longest time, now I'm thinking of that Billy Joel song. I used the capture card like thing. It was like the knockoff version of the Elgato capture card, Camlink, and I had my actual digital, photograph camera connected to that, right? Owen Wilson, thank you. But then, I was like, okay, I need to take that to work because I need to get actual product photos on that. So I got the actual webcam for streaming. This is the OBS bot, Tiny Light 2. The picture quality isn't amazing, but in better lighting, it's decent. Like if I pull up something that's better lit here, right? The quality's fine. The quality of the camera is probably better than what I had before. Let me see here. I'll say this much, I'm fairly certain someone at YouTube hates you. I notice more random posts removed from your chat than almost anyone I watch. Dude, I don't know why. Like, I am super chill. I barely ever, I don't do any, hard cursing typically. Tell me why my comments get taken down by YouTube all the time. I have absolutely nothing controversial. Yeah, no, NS, you say nothing controversial at all. You are a squeaky clean little angel. You bought Ready or Not yesterday? I know they bent the need of censorship and stuff, but the game's really good. I was tired of every FPS becoming Fortnite. Dude, I can concur with that. I agree with that. Freaking Fortnite and Call of Duty have ruined pretty much every first-person... the entire first-person genre scene. When the Splitgate 2 CEO went out on stage at Summer Game Fest and said what he said, I agreed with him. The problem was his game wasn't any better. That's really the problem. It's like, if you're going to say that you're the alternative, you better make a damn good game that's a better alternative, Polls are not stupid. Hey, Pulse Mannequin. Did I see the Phoenix Ball game where the player lost her wig? My wife was telling me about that. I didn't see it personally, but my wife was telling me. Where I have to show board shots. Oh, interesting. Okay. No, I just went with this because I was looking at reviews and I'm like, it was $140 on Amazon. It's the next version, the next step up would be like the Elgato Face Cam 4K for like $300. And I'm like, it's just not worth it for that much money right now. Maybe down the road, another year down the road, I'll buy a really nice cam or something. But like I said, in a properly lit room with the right setup, this camera will be better than what I was using before. So that'll be a better alternative. Not sure about Vince, but it was definitely someone telling his kid earmuffs when they were going to cuss. I think I remember that, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I don't remember which movie it was. I don't recognize his name. It's Nightcore changing. Oh, wait, who is no, Pulse Mannequin's not Nightcore. Nightcore has not been here for a while. Nightcore changed his name to something else. That boy, I swear to God, he kept changing his name like every other week. In fact, I don't even know that Nightcore has been here in a while. Oh, COD skins are retarded because it's first person. You can't see what you... So I will disagree, Cage, because they're part of the appeal. Here's the thing. Part of the appeal of skins, and this is that FOMO part of you know, Fortnite and all those other games, is that you're going to show off your skin to the other players, right? Now, that obviously that makes it retarded, too. That's stupid. You have more issues with mics as you get background hum. Well, that was the one thing with this Hyper Quadcast. I know it's not the best mic out there, and I don't have the ideal setup. Like, I have nothing as far as, like, sound wall, like those eggshell-looking things to put up. I don't have any real sound control here. But I've done enough with the filters on Streamlabs to try to eliminate background noise. The only thing you'll hear from time to time is like the clicking and the clacketing of the mouse and the keyboard, right? Because I've got a mechanical keyboard. But the webcam thing is one of those things that I've kind of left on the back burner. That's been way more, you know, something that I haven't worried about as much. Let's see here. Player lost her wig and they ejected a fan who dared to laugh. Dude, how could you not laugh? How could you not? First off, it's the WNBA. Like, I'd be laughing just if I had to sit there and watch that anyways. Oh, Pulse Mannequin, you were Thousand Men. Okay. You were, you were the counterpart to Bonnie Blue, right? Okay, I got you. Yeah, sound gates are mandatory. I use those. It's so funny because I didn't realize that Thousand Men became Pulse Mannequin because I knew both names. I've seen Thousand Men. I've seen you around forever, dude. In like Moxie's streams and other places and stuff. So you and Bush. I think it's Bush. All right, just finished my tea. I get that to show it off. 76 gets me with skins, but I play with Bethesda games in third person. No, I'll agree that that games that you can see yourself in your armor or your outfit are way better. But I tend to prefer first-person games. So for me personally, spending a bunch of money on a skin for a single-player game would make no sense because I'm never going to see it. That's why you changed your name? Okay, I got you. Can get recorders, but they're hella expensive. Dude, everything is expensive. All right, so starting off here, we've got Sony suing Tencent over its Horizon Zero Dawn clone. Says the company believes Light of Motorum infringes on its copyright. Of course it does, because why wouldn't it? I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to give Sony some credit for this, because this right here, like, I saw a side-by-side of these two games. I cannot tell you the difference. Like, when I saw the side-by-side of the artwork for this Light of Motorum game and, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn, they looked identical. And as somebody who didn't play Horizon Zero Dawn because I didn't own a PlayStation, I'm like, no, this is practically the same game. Oh, excuse me. Have clean lines and recorders are also portable. If you interview people, then they're kind of a must. Yeah, interviews are something that I've never thought about trying. Although, I'm still debating about going to FatCon with Kata and Atreus. I haven't talked to him about it recently. I've got a couple more months to decide. It's always fun when we from this chat see each other elsewhere on YouTube. Like the Spider-Man meme. Oh, dude, it happens to me all the time. I'll drop into, like, Mr. Hardcore Mode, or Empress, or Moxie, or Words of Paradise, Kata. I'll drop into somebody else's stream and be like, I didn't know you were here. Yeah, you know, I don't know where Nightcore went. I don't know if he's got, like, work or school, or if he's just gooned himself to death, but I haven't recalled seeing him anytime recently. There were a few books that had mecha wildlife before Horizon Zero Dawn. I know, but I think it's the style that they're talking about. They don't look the same, but if someone never played either saw them, yeah, that's kind of the situation that I fall into, you know? Why would anyone clone Horizon? So from Engadget, it says, Sony is suing Tencent for copying nearly every aspect of its Horizon games for the upcoming Light of Motorum, and hopefully Motorum is the way you pronounce it. I don't know. Motirum? An open-world hunting game with some obvious similarities to Sony's franchise, as first reported by Reuters. Tencent first announced the new game in November 2024. Nightcore still running a girl up and down a ladder. Probably correct. He's changing his name to Kumle. I'll have to remember that comment if he pops in sometime in the near future. Lawsuit goes into detail on the various ways Tencent's new game appears to be unlawfully copying memorable aspects of Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, and LEGO Horizon Adventures. God, guys, the LEGO games. I swear to God, does anybody here actually enjoy LEGO games? Personally, like, I had to play the LEGO Hobbit and LEGO Marvel game back with my kid when I first got him the Nintendo. He was like 5 or something, and so I was helping him with like the Hobbit game. Sony's upset Tencent will make a better game. You're probably not wrong about that, dude. You're probably not wrong. Motorom is how I hear everyone saying it. All right, then we're just going to go with that. Tencent isn't making any of the characters lame and gay. That's a core component of Sony's copyrighted style. Yeah, Alloy's eating all the pies. So the thing about that, though, is that instead we're going to get, like, uber gooner material with Tencent, right? And it's going to be like a half-baked game. We're going to get, like, again, like how Wu Cheng is kind of a Temu Dark Souls type game. You're going to get, like, you know, Horizon Light, but with hotter characters. Yeah, for me personally, I don't have a desire to play LEGO games because, like you said, they're children's games. For me personally, I don't want to see LEGO characters when I'm playing a game. It says that includes the basic setup of the game, a post-apocalyptic setting where tribes of human coexist with machines, the visual appearance of Light, of Motorom's characters, and even how Sony presents the franchise online. It all adds up to what Sony describes as slavish clone of the Horizon franchise, something Engadget and other publications easily clocked when Tencent first announced the game. Here's your screenshot side by side. I mean, they're not wrong. Like, even the advertising material is very similar, you know? The way that they're trying to market the game is intentionally to look similar to Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, again, doesn't mean that this lawsuit's going to win. Doesn't mean that they haven't changed enough to avoid it like a copyright infringement. But you can definitely tell that the branding is intended to mimic it. LEGO games are reliably decent. Oh, that's fair. I just don't personally want to look at them. Completely unsuited for the active hunt to survive kind of character she is. I thought Horizon looked so cool and waited for it on PC. And then they changed to Alloy. Tencent's trolling to make a better game. Maybe that's true. Most damning part of Sony's lawsuit is its claim that Tencent tried to license the Horizon IP before it even announced Light of Motorom. The company wanted to develop its own Horizon game in collaboration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, Sony claims, and proposed licensing the Horizon IP to create a mobile game. Oh god, I hate mobile games. That introduced Eastern aesthetics and elements like survival and crafting, pet taming, multiplayer game modes, etc. After Sony rejected the offer, Tencent announced Light of Motorom anyway, with many of the mechanics it pitched and using many recognizable visual elements of the Horizon franchise. In response to the damage and customer confusion caused by Tencent making Light of Motorom, Sony wants an injunction that prevents Tencent from continuing to develop or release the game, along with money and the destruction of anything. They want full-scale destruction of this game. That's insane. Wow. The ball is in Tencent's court to argue otherwise, which seems like it might be difficult. That's nuts. It's based in a similar world. This is a base build survival game with animal training, while Horizon is just a solo story action game. Similar vibe, not the same exact content. I mean, here's the thing. If they can argue enough that the game might look similar, but that in functionality it operates differently, that might be something that saves them on that one, you know? Rest in peace, Lance Reddick. Yeah, I forgot he was in the Horizon games, wasn't he? My cards look like your cards. They must be the same even though they're not. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so again, I don't even recall watching the reveal trailer from this, like, what was this, like 7 months ago or something? It's been a while. But again, as somebody who never played the Horizon games, because again, I don't care about Sony exclusives. I don't own a PlayStation. I don't even play my Xbox or my Nintendo Switch that my kids have. I play a game if it's on PC and I can and it looks good, you know? I couldn't even tell you if this looks like from the trailer that much like Horizon, other than the mechanical animal dinosaur looking things and the environment being very much organic, you know? Just the desire to virtue signal and follow the trend of making women heavier and less attractive, yeah. Well, that was the thing too. I remember about the second Horizon game was everybody was like, "Oh, but you can see the peach fuzz on her face now. Look how great the details are." And it's like, we all know that people have peach fuzz or body hair, but that doesn't mean that we want to be so high def that we focus like on like do you want to see pimples? Do you want to see zits? Do you want to see blemishes? This goes into like the whole territory of like vitiligo and seeing all sorts of deformities that we just don't really care to see in our video games. This is the game. It looks nothing like it so far. Yeah, this was what was, you know, revealed like 7 months ago. Stuff in Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy, and so on that's closer. Earmuffs is from Old School. Yeah, I don't think I saw that one. It's so funny that you guys all say it looks different because from what I've seen of Horizon as somebody who didn't play it, to me this looks similar, right? Because again, there's the natives, there's the mechanical element of the animals, there's the natural like earth organic side of it. Monster designs, I'm not sure what those are awfully closer. That's what I'm talking about. Is like for me, the fact that she's dressed like a native and then you have the monster animal type things that are all mechanical, there's a lot that looks similar. Looks similar to me and I beat that game. See, okay, so obviously it's going to be up to interpretation, right? And that's where it gets really dicey. A lot of times, especially it comes down to a judge during a lawsuit, you have to prove that it is or isn't, and I don't know. Looks better than Horizon. The people deciding this won't know any better. And see, Susano, there's the problem. It's going to be people like me who don't know any better. It's going to be some judge, some boomer who's never played a video game in his life, who's going to be like, well, these two things look the same. So, you know, all these strong women games look the same these days. Yeah. Hey, an iguana. Oh, that looks cool. I don't know if that is anything like in Horizon, but that dinosaur, like the big T-Rex looking thing with the gold teeth, that was pretty awesome. But yeah, actually, from what I've seen of Anthem, some of this kind of looks like Anthem too. See, now this is starting to look different than what I've seen from Horizon. This has a different aesthetic to it, in my opinion. Obviously, the mechanical robot animal type things are still going to be an issue. Looks more like Horizon than Anthem. That'd be like them deciding if COD is the same as Battlefront. Ooh, there's a good point. Like Horizon meets Destiny. Zero Dawn story was great. Finding all the parts of the puzzle. Too much like anime and manga in general. Yeah, are Xenoblade Chronicles worth going back and playing, guys? Because I actually never played any of those. And I was thinking about it because I was playing Smash Brothers with my kids yesterday, last couple days. And one of my kids was playing the character from Xenoblade Chronicles. And I was thinking to myself, like, you know, I never played those. I should go back and play them at some point. Oh, the new Spartacus show. Yeah, we was gladiators and shit. Yeah. No monsters in Horizon like these ones. See, this kind of this looks like Monster Hunter here to me. Yes, if you like those kind of games. Hello long. Oh, never mind then. Y'all know I'm never getting finished playing certain games. Like, ever. What is that, a kick follower? I don't know where that is. Oh, it's another... God. Guys, I swear to God, Kick and Twitch are the two worst platforms on the freaking planet, man. I feel like JRPGs, you might like it. The Xenosaga is still superior. You want a PS2 to play it on. I'm not buying a PS2. Not happening. Seen the launch trailers and all my friends say the games are great. I don't know. See, to me, this does look like a mix and match of different games, and if it's truly like a base building type game, I don't know that they're gonna necessarily have a leg to stand on in court, but there are similarities. But guess what? You know, there's nothing original. Everything's been done before, so I don't know. I feel like it's up to interpretation, and that could get very, very dicey. They're a little pervy? Really?
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Deadpaw. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Pokemon. Add a capture element to the game. Add like a capture or a throwable item element to the game, and then you'll get Nintendo suing them as well. Oh my god, can you imagine if Tencent just went ahead and threw that into the game? Just like, let's get everybody suing us. Let's make the most controversial game of all time. And then if they survive the lawsuit, God only knows, maybe they'd actually make like bank on that. It's like Nintendo trademarking flying on an animal. Dude, Power World had to get rid of the glider. Okay? Power World, I mean, look, the throwing the ball and capturing the animals in Power World, okay, I can kind of get that. I can kind of see where Nintendo is coming from as far as like, dude, we literally created this concept with Pokemon, but they stole, yeah, I guess Digimon came before Pokemon, right? But the idea that you can't use a glider because gliders are somehow apparently proprietary to Nintendo, like, what the hell, man? Oh, is it because it specifically links glider, like the style of the glider? Ah, that would make sense. Kind of like that little, kind of looks like a kite. I know what you're talking about, yeah. Well, maybe that's the situation then. I don't know. You know, guys, I've never tried using an emulator. I am still living in the Stone Age. All right. First trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash has been released, guys. Are you excited for this one? Hang on, I'm going to go switch to the other screen so we actually have full screen. How loud is this going to be? Dude, I remember watching the first Avatar movie like 30 years ago. I don't know. It feels like a lifetime ago. And I thought it was fine. 2.5, 3 hours long, whatever. I no longer care. Like, I watched it one time and that was it. I mean, big blue aliens. Yay. Nintendo, we created the jump button. Yeah, pretty much.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
Human race trader storyline. Yeah, it is, come to think of it. But that makes sense because it's James Cameron, you know? Dances with Smurfs. Big ass Smurfs. See, Patriot, Susano, you guys nailed both issues I have with it right there. You've got the peaceful Indian Hollywood trope. And then you've got, again, you don't regret seeing it, but it's not something you go back to see or watch the sequel of. That for me was exactly it. I watched the first movie, thought it was fine, parts of it I liked. I'd never go back and watch it again. Never have. The games might be good.
You cannot live like this, baby. In hate.
Dances the...
If there is something you can do, then you must do it. The children.
I don't know. Nothing about this makes me want to watch it.
No, Spider. And we will find another way.
Wait, the fifth movie is supposed to be on Earth? Hang on a second. This would be movie number 3, right? Because it took them like 10 years to make a sequel. So isn't this like number 3 now? Or is this the second movie and it's taken this long just to get a sequel out? I'm so confused.
Your goddess has no dominion here.
So this is the third one, Fire and Ash. Okay. I don't know, guys. I'm not like running to the theater to see this. Like I said, I didn't even see the second one. I didn't even know there was a second one. Oh, 2 and 3 were made back to back. Oh, so they pulled a Matrix situation there with those. Interesting. That was the Matrix, right? Where they filmed those back to back. Pretty sure that's what that was. Andrex, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. This is the third with character. Which character is supposed to be Trump because you know they're going to? Yeah. No, they always do that. They can't help themselves. Saw the first one, never watched the second. That's where I'm at. I'm so confused. If this is number 3, and they're working on 4 and 5, like how long is it going to take for them to finish it? All right. Hey, here's a hot take. I don't think Matrix 3 was the worst one of the trilogy. In fact, it's the one that I remember enjoying watching the most, which is crazy because Matrix 3 is the one that everybody hates. And yet for me, it's like Matrix 3 was like the Terminator of those 3 movies because it's like most of it's, you know, the humans versus the machines. And that's probably the part of it I like the most. But I know everybody's like, oh, Matrix 3 sucked, man. It was the worst one of the 3. I'm like, no, man, I liked Matrix 3 better than the other 2. That trailer made me sleepy and I just woke up. Again, the problem for me is like, it's just too much CG. I don't know. 3 was the best one? See, I thought so. The first was the most impactful. See, that makes sense. You hated it? Yeah, a lot of people hated the last Matrix. Oh, you mean like Matrix 4. See, I'm not counting Matrix 4 as an actual Matrix movie, and I never saw it. No, Patriot, nobody liked it. I don't think anybody liked it. I hated 3 because of the final battle scene. Otherwise, decent movie. I can't remember. Does he actually... He doesn't fight at the end of the third movie, right? Or is there an actual battle scene? I can't remember. The last one is the one that should have gotten people heated. Best part of The Matrix was watching Inception instead. I'll give you that Inception was a really good movie, but I also only watched it one time. So for me personally, it wasn't something where I was just like dying to watch it again. He fights millions of Agent Smiths at the end of 3. Wow, why did I not remember that? I remember at the end he just gives up. I mean, that's one of those things that I remember. You know Kung Fu? Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. Let me see. 3 is actually the 4th movie. How is 3 the 4th movie? Is there a prequel that they made? Oh, there's an anime between 2 and 3. Okay. Yeah, you liked all the 3. You didn't watch 4 because it looked like it would be good, and then they current dayed you. Yeah. 4 was an excellent movie, but the problem is they waited too long to release it. But the movie goes above everyone's head because of the complexity of the story. See, you're the first person I'm seeing that actually said that the 4th movie was excellent. Everyone else that I've listened to or heard complaints from said that the 4th movie is garbage, not worth watching, it ruins the story, it's terrible. Trailers and ads for The Matrix made it seem like the movie Inception actually was. Dude, I don't even remember the plot of Inception. I remember really enjoying the film, but that was a one and done movie for me, and I watched it like a million years ago, so. Bugman response, city insect, I can hear it chirping. Oh man. All right. So, I don't know if you guys even care about this whole T app thing. I just find it funny. For anybody who doesn't know, there was this app called the T app where apparently women could dox men, upload pictures of them, talk about their horrible experiences dating them. and the women had to verify their identity with their actual photo ID. And then the entire database got leaked online, and all the women that were on here were apparently like these absolute hideous, like disgusting looking, fat, overweight, blue-haired cat ladies. The Matrix writers and producers are transcendent. Well, here's the funny thing, though. They weren't trans at the time. Like Carfax for women, Colfax. Oh my god. Equilibrium is a fantastic film, Joe Darkness. Equilibrium is one of my favorite, like, dystopian action films of all time. That movie is phenomenal. The T-App is peak karma, 100%. Act 3, third act gives me you DBZ vibes without Super Saiyan power-up. Yeah, this is why online ID requirements are BS and more risky. Well, I think it ties in really well to a lot of this other stuff we're going to talk about with Collective Shout and the Online Safety Act with the UK. So, rewatching all the Matrix movies back-to-back, you've grown to hate the second film. The only part of the second film that I remember hating was the fight scene in the schoolyard with him and all the whole... Don't show the pictures. I think that there's some pictures somewhere. The fight scene between Agent Smith and Keanu Reeves. So I was gonna just watch Slop News Network's video because he had a 10-minute video talking about the actual hack. We'll start this and see if there's anything useful in here because it might actually explain it pretty well. I can't guarantee that there won't be pictures of these women, just so you know. Hey, Truth. Karma is a beautiful thing. Get ready with the bleach, exactly.
A ton of people messaging me to look over this T-App situation, plus this quote-unquote hack and data leak thing. I've never heard of this app until about a day or two ago, so let me give everyone a quick overview of the app and its history first. The app was created by Sean Cook, and as he puts it on his site's About Us page, it was born from a personal mission. Apparently, Sean's mom was trying out online dating and was either getting catfished or was engaging with various men who had criminal records. Sean, from this experience, thought most traditional dating...
All right, so a little bit of like personal experience. I've talked about this before. Without going into too much detail, my mom is in her 60s, and the one thing I will say is dating is in a very bad spot, especially online dating for anybody, both genders. Like in my mom's age range, all she finds are these absolutely broken loser men that are complete freaks. I'm talking like psycho serial killer type guys or these sad sacks that have absolutely no will to live. So I can understand to a certain degree trying to find like a better app for women to date or something that maybe matches them with better opportunities, I guess. But my suspicion about this entire thing was that somebody made this app with the intent of leaking all these women's information because of how easily it all came out. But I don't know. That's just like my conspiracy theory side of it.
apps were doing little to protect women, so he decided to build and release his own app in 2023 called T. T was supposed to be a safe women's only app to help with dating. Since it was supposed to be a women's only app, that meant they had to have a verification process in place to confirm if the user joining was actually a woman.
Also, what is a woman? That's what I want to know. If it's a woman-only app, how do they confirm that they're biological? Is it just if you identify as a woman, if your legal ID has you listed as a woman, but you can be biologically male? You've gone on a date with my mom. Not unless you go out with like 67-year-old women. 60. I don't even know how old she is. She's in her mid to late 60s at this point.
Woman. As part of the verification process, the users would have to upload an image of themselves. This could be a selfie, but in some cases they decide to upload IDs, and in some very extreme cases they decided to upload their government ID cards. Yes, some women uploaded their military IDs that held enough info to allegedly figure out the address for undisclosed government sites. There's probably going to be at least some women who are going to for sure get fired over that blunder. Anyways, once they were verified, they're verified.
You know, Joe Darkness, you are the second person, like I had this person I was interacting with on Twitter a few weeks back who I'm just like, you know, Tinder is just shit. It's just, you know, encouraging hookup culture. And she's like, well, my brother-in-law and my sister both met people on Tinder and they're happy and this and that. And now you're saying Tinder. And I'm like, my mom has gone with like professional dating services. She's been on apps like the Match.com, the eHarmony stuff, all these kind of things, and only meets complete like weirdo freaks, right? That's really, it's funny that you say Tinder because you're the second person. You are outright aren't allowed to do that. Are we talking about the, if you're a man posing as a woman? No app is worse than Howler. Okay. Shout out Pirate Software. Yeah, so the thing is, the sexual revolution did contribute to ruining modern dating, but it also affects people who aren't promiscuous, who aren't looking for hookups, people who are trying to have like normal, traditional relationships, because everybody just gets kind of caught in the mix, you know?
Verification images were supposed to be deleted and they could begin using the app and purchasing its various in-app services. Since this was a women's safety app, a lot of the in-app purchases, services, and features revolved around stuff like doing reverse image searches on men's photos, ordering different background check bundles T was offering, using the app's offender search list and features, using the T phone number lookup service and data gathering, and buying some criminal record search packages too. There was also a social media aspect as well to the app, where women could post photos of men and ask the user base at large for advice and try to gather information about the man in question too. The app
Who thought this was a good idea? Like, honest to God, listen to the way they're talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, you can just take these random these men's pictures, post it on the app, and be like, what do you all think about this? I mean, come on. Come on, guys. This was not a good idea.
also had a green flag, red flag system where the idea was women, if they knew the man, could help verify if he was a good or bad guy. Now, while all of this might sound okayish on paper, people will be people, and lots of women were using this app to anonymously spill tea and gossip about various men. Naturally, a lot of men took issue.
Look at this. Okay, first off, Pink Puss 45. Really? That's an actual name from a user. Dick Little can't hold his liquor, breath stink. I'm gonna venture a guess. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I think I could identify what this person probably looks like. Big D Baller, bet on the floor. Can y'all drop these ninjas ats? Thank ya.
With the app basically allowing women to anonymously rate random men, post and share unverified personal info about them, and add defamatory or false accusation as comments. Not to mention being able to violate men's privacy without any real recourse available for the men affected.
Not to like jump ahead in the stream, but Alyssa Mercante's name is going to come up again later in this whole collective shout stuff. And this is the kind of shit that she did, where she talked about how she slept with a guy and then wrote something in an article about how bad he was in bed or something. These women are the scum of the earth that do this.
Users of the app argued back that the app did have a contact us email address affected parties could reach out to and have their info removed if it was false. But since the app was anonymous and prevented screenshots and blocked men from registering, it's hard to think men would be able to find out they were on the app. And
yeah, how would a guy know? How would a guy know unless some woman who's actually not a complete bitch gets a hold of them and says, yo, I just saw your picture on here, and women are saying all sorts of terrible things. Like, whoever made this app should be sued. Not even kidding. Sued by everybody. Sued by the women that had their IDs leaked. Sued by the men that had their pictures posted on it. Sued by everybody.
What kind of false information about them could possibly be on it? Meaning it would be incredibly hard for a guy posted on the app to request for any false info to be removed if they weren't even aware it existed in the first place. And this doesn't even consider the issue of how long the false info was causing damage and issues for them. Now, while a lot of people had issues with the app, it didn't have any crazy scandals or coverage until fairly recently. Just shortly after July 22nd of 2025, when it hit first place in the Apple App Store, it was discovered and seemingly first reported on 4chan that the T app had a public Firebase bucket. What this means is people were able to scrape all sorts of T app files and share them easily with the public. In the statement given by T about the incident, T reported that about 72,000 images were leaked online, including 13,000 selfies or photo identifications.
Oh my god. This is nuts. 72,000 images, including 13,000 verification photos and images of government IDs. So all those apps, all those things that you have to upload your photo ID, your government issued ID to verify who you are and all that other stuff. Think twice about that, I guess. Be very careful.
And another 59,000 images that were publicly viewable in the app from the posts, comments, and direct messages. With that context out of the way, let's actually start diving into the supposed hack origin, hack script, and data trove that's been compiled. First of all, this wasn't a hack. A hack is the act of getting unauthorized access to data in a restricted system. The T data that was being extracted and pulled was all publicly accessible if you just knew the T Firebase URL. If we look at the 4chan post where all of this started from, we can once again see there was a public Firebase bucket. Now, let me explain.
Wait, all of these were accessible by the URL. So yeah, this wasn't a hack. Wait, so all this information, all these government issued IDs, all these photos, everything, all this personal private information was findable, not a word I know, but accessible through a URL. That's insane, man.
what a bucket is. In cloud computing, a bucket is a term for the place
Yeah,
you'll
not
upload your
hacking.
files to. For example, you'll generally have a few buckets for different things. In a simple app, you might be fine with just 2 buckets. A public one for files and info anyone should be able to see and view, and a private one that will hold sensitive and user-restricted files. Think about files that you would share in a private chat, for example. Only the 2 users in the chat should be able to see those files. Now,
Well, it's not public information. It's not public info as in you could argue, well, it's publicly accessible because, again, your personal license, your ID, the government issued ID, that kind of stuff, that's private information in theory, but they were on a publicly accessible site. So what happens is the app, the person that actually, hosted all this is liable to the women who had their IDs accessible. What you can't do is you can't go after the people who accessed it because they didn't actually break any laws.
by default, all the major cloud
Thank you
providers
very
and
much,
sites where
sir.
buckets can be
You're a
created,
gentleman
including
and a scholar.
Firebase itself, will by default have buckets created as private or in the lockdown mode. Meaning, in order to access or upload data to the bucket or to interact with it, you'll need to have a way to verify your access rights
Hook says it was a public dump. Anyone can go there. Hey, thanks for the subscribe, Avery Wiseman. Appreciate it. You opened the door to liability doing that because then you have to secure it, and they didn't. Yeah, you're not supposed to have that stuff just sitting around. John Wick 5 is officially in the works by Lionsgate, and now The Matrix 5 is in the works. Oh my god. Dude, seriously.
to the bucket first. To help drive this point further, if you try to make a bucket public, most sites will warn you that you run the risk of exposing data you might not want to. Well, the T-App development team didn't seem to mind or want to do things the right way and decided to set their bucket to public.
It is like this tangible thing
That they
you
subbed
can
all the dev
point
work to
and
indie.
say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
$1 from Patriot. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's see here. Susano. They all lied about deleting the images after validation. They're fully liable. Yeah. So again, this goes back to the fact that if you weren't going to secure it in a database somewhere where it wasn't accessible publicly, then you would have needed to remove it and delete it. Like, holy shit, man. Yeah, John Wick 5, he died. Yeah, he always... They never stay dead, okay? Patriot, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate you, dude.
Meaning anyone with a URL to the bucket could access anything in it as long as they knew the right URL path for the files in question. This hack was basically at the same level of opening up a random subreddit and just downloading every single file you saw in the feed. Plus, if we look at the supposed hack script that was posted onto Pastebin, we can see there isn't any hacking going on. All this Python script is doing is going through the public Firebase file URLs one by one, and if it manages to find a valid not already downloaded file, it'll just download it and continue going. Through this process, around 72,000 files were managed to be found so far. So again, the security of the T-App wasn't breached or hacked. The security for the T-App never existed in the first place. With how badly this app architecture was set up, I honestly wouldn't...
This is insane. Holy shit. Don't forget to like the YouTube stream. Yeah, I appreciate you, Denial
Do I need
Servers.
to be liked? Absolutely not.
Uh-oh.
I like to be. Do I need
NS is on
to be
his shit
liked?
right now.
Absolutely not. I like to be. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely
Somebody
not.
mentions anti-Semitism, and then his finger slips and hits that button
I have
again.
to be liked.
NS with the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, dude. Oh, you got Moxie on that one. Awesome, man. Appreciate you as always, my dude. I should report you and put you in timeout for that, though. Oh, you got Cage and Moxie both. Hell yeah, there you go. Spoiler alert, he was never dead or alive. No, he's a machine, man. He's a robot.
be surprised if all the accusations floating around that this was a vibe-coded app turned out to be true. Anyways, from the T statement, it seems like all of this was data before February 2024, though given all the additional eyes and scrutiny on the app, this isn't exactly comforting news to anyone impacted. It's also pretty suspect the company was holding on to their users' selfies and licensed images from more than a year and a half ago, since in their own app, it clearly states that after they verify you...
Dude, look at this! They held on to it for a year and a half, and over here, click here to take a selfie. Don't worry, we delete this after we verify your gender. Holy crap, man.
The selfie images should be deleted. According to T, after 2024, they did create some new system where they were migrating all of their data to, but they never moved all of the old data to it. On their Instagram, they have a slightly different message and story, where they claim the data was being kept in an archive system due to legal reasons. Again, this is a bit suspect. Generally, most sites that keep records will keep them from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years at the absolute maximum. Considering the T app isn't some major or important app, it was probably due to general incompetence and bad security measures that they had.
You know the craziest thing? Most people, in fact, I would say damn near like all people, had never heard of this app until after all the information was leaked. So what this was just an app that somehow a bunch of women heard about. They all told their friends about it. And then they all signed up and started sharing all these images and shit. And they had the wrong guy who probably got pissed off, found out that he was on there, and knew just enough of what to look for and how to look for it. And now here we are. Now everybody knows about it, and all these women are getting embarrassed. You know, it's kind of poetic, honestly. It's pretty awesome.
So much data hanging straight out in the open for this entire time period. I also hope this gives everyone listening a small lesson in being more cautious uploading personal information or images of yourself to brand new sites or apps, especially if the content or behavior on the app are a big source of controversy.
That is
Now,
crazy.
let's go back to the data leak portion. Also, as I discussed this, keep in mind that the data leak has only been posted about 2 days before this video has gone up, so the damage and the true fallout of this leak probably isn't going to be known for at least a few more weeks to maybe even a few more months. Anyways, there are already...
No, Susano, you're right. That this kind of idea, this notion has been around for a while. What I'm saying is this specific app, nobody had heard anything about until this whole leak. The app itself wasn't being talked about, you know? It's not like how everybody knows Tinder. So if there was a Tinder leak, everybody would already know what Tinder was. Most people, when they heard T-leak or, you know, the T-app leak, didn't know what T-app was to begin with.
Multiple torrents floating around with all sorts of data compiled together. The main torrent with everything included seems to be just shy of 60 gigabytes in size. There's another smaller torrent around 18 gigabytes that seems to just be the women's selfies and verification photos. There's also another 220 gigabyte torrent floating around, but from what I can find, the torrent is the same as the current 60 gigabyte main torrent, just with lots and lots of extra padding files driving the size of it to a crazy amount. If we look at the torrent metadata and folders, we can see the files from various parts of the T-app have been found and taken. General files uploaded to the app, like files posted in private chats, files attached to comments, post images, and naturally the women's personal photos. Let's start with what's currently being done with the women's images. Currently, a lot of people are just clowning on the appearance of many of these women on various social media sites.
Here we go.
In fact,
Photo
one
time,
person has
photo
gone
time.
and made a ranking leaderboard to reverse judge all the women who had their photos leaked. If we look at the site T-Spill, the main homepage is basically just selecting which person you find more attractive. I'm not going to show any faces because doxing is wrong, and you
Oh, come on. Really? Okay, fine. 4chan joke. Yeah, dude, that's pretty funny. Was that an actual thing? The joke about making the app called Teabag. Okay. That's fantastic. That would actually be really funny. You got laid off by the boss who was Indian, and all his mates who were Indian were kept on. Oh my god. That's okay. Well, we
Ashley
have
has
some
rules
other
and tries to protect people's
screenshots
privacy,
we can
unlike
look
the
at.
T app. Anyways, there's also a leaderboard showing the top 50 best and top 50 worst rankers on the site currently. When I checked the top 50 list, the top 5 slots were the following in reverse order. In 5th place, we have a picture of the right side of a keyboard. Moving on to 4th place, we have what seems to be the rest of the keyboard setup. Now in 3rd place, with the bronze medal, we have a black square. In 2nd place, with the silver medal, we have a picture of a computer mouse. And finally, in 1st place, taking home the gold T-Spill medal, we have, drumroll please, the great, the mighty, the undisputed champion of the T leaderboard, Dr. Pepper. So, as you can see, no one really cares about the rankings and everyone is trolling and messing around on this site. Now, to more serious cases.
Sharing of their picture for public shaming isn't what I'd call doxing. No, like again, for me, doxing, sharing, you know, for example, if it was driver's license photos with name, address, like, again, the one here in the middle, U.S. Department of Defense, those kind of things, that's a whole different situation. You could argue doxing. But just selfies? I mean, yeah, it's some gray area there. Beetlejuice 3 is officially confirmed by Warner Brothers. I didn't watch Beetlejuice 2, man. My childhood, I love Beetlejuice, and I don't want to have it ruined by, like, watching a sequel that I don't love. Dr. Pepper is legit, you're not wrong. Yeah, do you think any of these women show obedience? What? Is that... Wait, is that the word? I'm not saying... I'm not saying it, man. Because even if I say it right, I'm still gonna screw it up. Oh, hey, we got a Twitch bot, the _cheese, saying cheap viewers on stream. Dude, this stream boo thing. I swear to God. Wasn't good, wasn't bad, was watchable. Someone just say Beetlejuice. Oh my God. I don't know. I would say obeisance, but again, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna butcher it. Obeisance is the word? No, that wasn't the word, man. Obeisance. Oh. Okay, so it's obeisance. No, guys, obeisance was not it. Let's see. It's worse people knowing where I live versus being defamed. What were we talking about? No, guys, it wasn't obeisance. That was not it. Not it at all. I'm telling you, the minute I think of it, I'll put it on Discord or I'll try to like let you guys know maybe on the next stream, but it was not obeisance.
With how many licenses were available in the leak and how many selfies were uploaded with the image metadata still included, it seems like some users have been going through and pulling out the names and exact locations of the users in question and plotting it on a viewable Google map called Roasties. Now, the map isn't everyone in the leak. Google Maps has a 20,000 pin limit, so we can probably expect at least 2 or 3 more maps to be created over the next few days that will include the rest of the women from the leak. Also, some people have started doing reverse image searches on these women's images as well, meaning there might be significantly more data posted and leaked on these T users in the not so distant future as well. Not to mention possible legal trouble for them as well if users.
See, I mean, there gets to the point where some of this,
a gentleman and a scholar.
Some of this, Big Paleo, thanks for subbing, buddy. Appreciate you. You get to the point where some of this is just olfactory. What are you talking about olfactory for? Olfactory is not a hard word to say. Some of this is like autism on like steroids. Where it's like if you're doing like reverse image searching on women's faces, I'm like, look, it's one thing if you look at the photos and you point and you laugh because they're like a bunch of hideous lesbian cat lady looking chicks and stuff. But it's another thing to be like, I don't know. There's a whole another level of autism to this. Now, dude, it was not obeisance. It was not it. Epitome? Did I mispronounce epitome? Quillpig, you're thinking too obvious. The words are way too obvious. It was a word that's a form of another word. It was like a longer way, different way of saying it that had a slightly different meaning. Oh my God, what was that's gonna drive me crazy. Did you say epitome? I said epitome. What did I mispronounce now about epitome? I didn't say epitome, I said epitome. Most people mispronounce rhetoric. See, Quillpig, you're thinking small. Hey, Mari, good morning. You're thinking small. You're thinking like not... The word was a word that I've seen, but not a word that I've had to pronounce, like, ever. Okay, yeah. Worcester sauce, yeah.
Affected by their comments or posts decide to try taking legal action against them. Now, while we've mainly been talking about the women affected, if we look back at the torrent and the attachments, a lot of men's images were also included in there as well, meaning even some men that were posted on the app could be seeing some of their personal info dug into and posted about as well. And last but not least, we can look at the chats, comments, and post folders from the torrent. Within these folders, there were all kind of images, things such as screenshots of personal convos, phone numbers, houses and apartments, and who knows what else. Since the leak is so new, everything hasn't been fully explored and
Yo, if these women were putting men's personal information out there, like their addresses and their phone numbers, and then that got leaked as well because they're all a bunch of like dumb bitches and sharing personal information to like dump on these guys, and then that all got leaked, and that's all that, this is nuts. Now, this isn't like when you see, you know, some massive website or server or whatever that has all their private data leaked, like, oh, you know, Franciscan Healthcare's database has been leaked and 10 million people's information's out there, but this is still pretty massive. Wasn't Alyssa Mercante involved in this doxing incident? No, but she's done stuff like this. I swear to God, she talked about it, she tweeted about this a couple of years back, where she slept with a guy just so she could write an article about how bad he was in bed. Like, not even kidding. She said that herself. So, how many of these women were Reddit mods? Yeah. I said something during the stream like you must pay obeisance to Tiba's refusal to say obeisance, but I could be wrong, but I said something like that during the stream at the very least. Yeah, you used the word in a way that you, Fellow Americans movie, you thought I was stupid, but it was all just a big fakeade. No, see, a facade. So this word Vaseline. That says this word baseline. Sorry, it's none of these words, guys. It was a truly
through
obscure
yet.
word.
We've only just seen the beginnings of the damage this leak is going to cause, and we likely won't see the full extent for a few more weeks to months. Given how badly the T app has handled the situation, it's no surprise users are fleeing the app as fast as they can, with many of the users even suggesting they'll be trying to take legal action against T for not properly safeguarding their information and files. But with all this new stuff aside, I'm personally wondering if we're going to potentially see an even greater T data leak soon. I strongly doubt the
Does Tebow pronounce crayon correctly, or does he say crayon? No, I say crayon, as in a crayon, but not as exaggerated. Say crayon. Prosopagnosia? Is it prosopagnosia? I don't know. I've never heard of that word before. I do better pronouncing German words. Not even kidding. If you give me a random German word, I can probably pronounce it verbatim. Versus, dude, English is a jacked up language. Okay, our language is messed up. Close enough. I told you my daughter. So I was taking that methylprednisolone steroid like 3 years ago, whenever I was in the hospital. That's what they gave me when I got discharged. And they're like, here, this thing is going to like rock your world. Only take it once a day. That thing, I was taking that steroid once a day, and I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day. It was the craziest thing. I was waking up like wide awake. But it's terrible for you. Your body shouldn't have it. So once I got off of that, I got into medication. I was no longer taking it. But my daughter, when she was like, so this was like 4 years ago, she's probably like, I don't know, like 6 or something. And she's all like, methylprednisolone. And I'm like, oh my God. Prosopagnosia. Oh, burner. So you want to know if I say caramel or caramel. That's an interesting one because there's also apricot versus apricot. Thalassophobia. Yeah. Well, yeah, Mari, not all the words you should be repeating, though. Ooh, what's an Eichhornchen? Eichhornchen is a squirrel. Although with the umlaut over the O, it'd be more like Eichhornchen. More of an ooh sound. I do not know for which stream it was, but I do remember arguing over obeisance. I don't know, man. I don't remember pronouncing the word obeisance. Oh, dude, it was there. It was in the same stream where we were talking about Ubisoft. You're right about that. I say February with the R. Caramel apples and caramel candies. Interesting. Don't ax me. Oh, no, I don't say that stupid shit. Hell no.
Chan user that originally broke the floodgates open was the first person to find this public Firebase bucket. There are many tools that automatically search for public exposed buckets on the internet, plus hackers will spend extra time targeting apps they know have lots of valuable PPI data and have a significant user base in first world countries. Given that the T app is nearly all US-based users, with a large portion posting their IDs or military IDs, I think there's a strong possibility that other groups have been aware of this app and leak source for a longer period of time. And since once hackers manage to find a way into their target systems, or they find an open funnel to collect information, they won't be reporting or sharing any of it publicly, and they'll just quietly lurk and stay under wraps, collecting as much information as they possibly can. Given that the T bucket was simply public, I wouldn't be surprised if there are hacking groups right now that are sitting on close to 2 years worth of T data. Given that within one day, T itself—
Oh, geek, I want coffee. I had my herbal tea, so I wouldn't stay up too late tonight. Coffee. I'm already thinking about tomorrow morning's coffee. I say caramel, even though I know it's caramel. Well, not really. So that's the thing. It's like, which one is correct? Caramel? Caramel? I mean, that's like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think one is right or one is wrong in that situation. I think caramel's one that is open for interpretation. Okay, but axe was actually correct before the shift to ask. It's a retro pronunciation, not inherently wrong. What? What have you been smoking, dude? What are you talking about? It's bedtime. All right, Patriot, get some sleep, buddy. Yeah, Burner, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, dude. No way. Caramel is Kiara Meru. Is it Kiara Meru? I don't know. Both are correct. I use them in different contexts. Thinking about tomorrow's coffee is a real thing for us coffee lovers. Hell yeah. Someone's been reading Black Twitter. No, stay away from Black Twitter as much as you possibly can. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Okay, ever. I told you guys the stream a few months ago where we talked about that black women only Twitch tournament that they had, and I spent like a couple days on Black Twitter, and all I saw was angry black women posting about it. My entire week was ruined by that experience. All right. Axion was the root of ax, which shifted to ask over time. Somewhere around the 1850s was the grammatical encoding for ask. Okay, but are we talking in a root language for English, or are we talking about the English language? Because axion does not sound like an English word. That sounds like some Latin language. Oh, the Carnival Cruise stuff is wild. Yeah, no shit, dude. It's insane. It's like color and color, yes. You saw me in one of those Carnival Cruise videos. I'd be the little guy that they're throwing off the side of the boat, okay? No. Yeah, no, I would not be anywhere. I'd be like grabbing my stuff and getting out. I didn't know Burner spoke Japanese. I thought it was, is it Oblivion or somebody else that speaks Japanese? Yeah, English is not English. English is a mess of a language. Not even kidding. So this guy here, Austin Allred, says calling the T-hack a hack is honestly a stretch. They put everything in a publicly accessible database, not in the they didn't encrypt it sense, but in the literally publicly accessible URL sense. The hack is downloading the JPEG files from a publicly accessible URL. And that's kind of what the whole video went through just now. I mean, brain dead behavior, right? So then there's the Claim app that says T made y'all verify with a selfie just to leak it to 4chan. If your face is on some incel's hard drive right now, you better get your... Is this an actual... Do you guys know anything about the Claim app? KCM, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. T made y'all verify with a selfie just to leak it to 4chan. If your face is on some incel's hard drive right now, you better get your get back. Class action lawsuit coming soon with 3 question marks. What? Is this a real... Okay, so it's a class action settlement app. I didn't even know that that was a thing. Like, that's nuts. Kaguya's Top Gal says maybe you shouldn't have sent your ID to a sketchy app to dunk on men, Jan. Here you go. Oh my god. Okay, you guys, we'll take one brief moment to laugh at this a little bit. If this Claim app was even real, that tweet would put me off. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's real or not, but it might be. Is the Carnival thing another cruise talk thing? It's another thing where apparently this was like the big story a couple weeks ago was about how essentially Carnival is racist, or all these cruises are racist because all these things that they say you can't do on a cruise somehow were anti-black women or anti-black people. Kata translate. Is Kata here? I didn't see Kata in the chat. No, Kata's not here. I miss my ex-wife so much. Oh my. Get back is probably not a lawyer. Probably not, I would say. Unless they're... I'm asking you to not be racist and support BLM. Oh boy. I can't even now, dude. I just can't with some of your guys' comments. Bill Cosby's in here. Hyper Tim Burton's Wedding, Season 2. Burton's Wednesday. How did I read that as wedding? Wednesday Season 2, not Avatar 3. I don't know. I didn't watch Wednesday Season 1. I don't really care. I didn't watch Addams Family growing up. I was more of, like, I grew up on the Munsters, so I didn't really have any connection to the Addams Family. I don't know. See high calorie side of population on this screen. Oh my god. I feel like some of these have to be photoshopped, and you're right, that Bill Cosby comparison is spot on. There's no way. There's no way that these were some of the images that were used. Like, I can't even. I can't look at those anymore. Like, holy shit. Thanks for showing the pics. I'm gay now. Broken nose and neck. What happened to you? I don't know. Oh my god. Also understand what you're trying to write with that script. feel like my joke was lost, but at least Mari got it. I don't know, because I couldn't read what you wrote, dude, because it was in Japanese. I assume. I don't think I can translate that on the chat here. I don't think I can translate it, no. I've seen some of the drops. They are ugly and they're nasty. That's why I look like Eddie Munster. Hey, there are worse people I could look like, okay? There are far worse than that. See, I took German. All they taught me in school was German. I'm charging back my gifted. God did not give me eyes to see that. Fair enough. All right. Says, you dox men on an app. The app doxes you. Women posting pics of men on T-App without their consent. The same women seeing their pics on 4chan without their consent. I mean, okay, there is a very real... Like, there's some truth to this, because it's not just pictures of men that these women found online, right? So the images of these men, the information they were putting on there, like they said that they were putting their home addresses, phone numbers, all sorts of personal private information was being put on this app. You know that a lot of that was probably images that were sent to these women in confidence or, you know, privately. And then these women put it on this app for other women to ridicule, make fun of, laugh at. I mean, this is pretty much like, you know, they are getting their comeuppance. This is the whole effing around and finding out situation. Yeah, Mari, those were supposed to be images that were deleted after they were uploaded to the T-App for these women to verify that they were biologically women to keep men out. I look like a direct brother of Beard Meets Food. Well, I don't know if I would look like him without, like, if I got rid of the gigantic length of this beard, and like I kept talking about it tonight or yesterday. I was telling my daughter, I'm like, you know, eventually I'm gonna have to trim some of this off, and she's like, no. I'm like, why? This thing is getting ridiculously long. It's like down to freaking here right now. It's insane. Oh, is Burner out of here? Did Burner leave? Oh, okay, he didn't say anything, it looks like. Or did he? No, he says, Watashi no Ichiban Tsukina Kunit. I can't, dude, I don't know what any of this means. I can guess at pronouncing it, but I have no idea. Plural of octopus is octopi. It's a Greek word. Septum ring equals instant deal breaker. Dude, for real. For real. Full imam, send it. I've joked about being the Mujahideen of gaming. You know, I could just try to rock that shit. I don't know. 4chan leaked T-App users and the TikTok lower mids want to speak with the manager. Okay, guys, this right here, this is the whole enchilada. First off, what is this hairline? Okay, if you took this same woman, fixed her hair, got rid of the unironically like really retarded geeky looking phone or lenses on her face, if you just did like gave her a makeover, took away the scissors before she cut all of her bangs off, she wouldn't be a bad looking woman. But like, holy shit, like I can't even believe, yeah, I can read Japanese. Well, it's just, you know, pronouncing the way the words look. Did they allow trains on the app? If not, there's another potential for the left to eat themselves up. Yeah, no, yeah, the bowl cut. Means he's sorry and that he doesn't understand. Okay. Okay. Sounds diabolic. No, so Mari, you missed it because we were talking about it before you got here. The person who made the T-App, his mom was having trouble dating, and so allegedly he created the app for her to have easier time matching with somebody who was a better suitor, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, so the incels are at it again. No one can have a fun time on the internet. It's just the rule, especially if you're a woman. Nice try.
Okay, I want to restart that. First off, the volume was kind of low. But she wants to say that apparently this is us men ruining women having a good time on the internet.
Hey, so the incels are at it again. No one can have a fun time on the internet.
The incels are at it again. No one can have a fun time on the internet. What did the incels do? The incels didn't make the app. The incels didn't go out and you know, target women. These women all decided to take their time and put a bunch of images, addresses, and phone numbers of men that they've either dated or maybe have some connection to crap all over on an app where men are excluded and can't see what they're saying. For 49ers, forwards acting like they're 9s, yeah, exactly.
It's just the rule, especially if you're a woman. Nice try. Saw you trying to have fun there. Saw you trying to stay safe there. Not gonna happen. Not on their watch. I do, of course, also think that there is quite a bit of responsibility on the app.
I love it. She goes on complaining about men being the reason that women can't have any fun, and then goes, well, of course, there's some responsibility on the app, too. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Now, they clearly didn't set up enough security measures, so somebody nasty was able to easily access these images and leak them. So head on a swivel, ladies.
Head on a swivel. What? Oh my God, these people are just retarded. I swear to God, they're just retarded. Yeah, this is the craziest one. This is the absolute craziest one. This woman, and again, the other pertinent information, thank God she was smart enough in her photo ID to, you know, crop out with, I guess, what, a Post-it note or whatever, little card here. Works for the U.S. Department of Defense. Like, holy crap. Everyone's responsible except the women themselves. That's what it always comes down to, unfortunately. She sounds like one of those privileged members of the patriarchy, trying to have fun, yeah. Incels, you keep using this word. I do not think it means what you think it means, exactly. She looks like she attacks pretty women like Sydney Sweeney. Oh, we're going to get to Sydney Sweeney in a minute. 100%. Niners fan here, that hurt. I'm sorry, Tailfin. But I think it kind of had to be said, you know? She's basically the boys will be boys meme from The Simpsons. Yeah, that's the thing, Joe Darkness. There was no security. They literally stored all these women's photo IDs, their selfies, all these images, and just dumped them onto a random URL where they sat for a year and a half. Okay, so for example, without giving too much information, my business that I've taken over now from my family, we have a retail website. You can purchase directly through the website, right? And once in a while, there'll be a product that we discontinue. And if I hide it on the website, you can't go to the website and purchase it because you don't see it. It's not visible. But if somebody had purchased it before, they can click on the link from their order and it takes them to the URL where that hidden item is now visible. And then they'll repurchase it and I'll have to email them and say, no, this product's not available anymore. If you go to our website, it's not visible. So that's essentially what we're looking at here. Is that's the level of security we're talking about. Is all you have to do is find that URL and here you go. Treasure trove of 80 gigabytes of information. Absolutely insane. If I had a special government ID such as DOD, I'd for sure not use that for any app, just use a driver's license. I mean, they didn't even have to use a driver's license. The thing is, they could have just taken a selfie. Here's the thing. Any app that requires you to take to snap a picture of your photo ID, like for banking and all that kind of stuff, is a pain in the ass. Because like for me, I always have to go find my wallet, dig my ID out of there, find good lighting, you know, get a good picture of it front and back, and then wait for it to upload and stuff. It's way easier just to take a selfie that just deletes after, you know, indefinite amount of time. So, wait, what's a very bigoted word? What are we talking about? Incel? Well, yeah. So Mario, that's the thing is like incel is used as an insult against any guy who doesn't give a woman, I guess, the time of day or doesn't buy into some woman's bullshit. Incel typically would be somebody, if you wanted to be like the most, I don't even want to try to justify the term because I think the term sucks. I think it's a stupid term. You know, incel means involuntary celibate celebrity. That's funny. I love autocorrect. So she was arguing that she's refusing to date them and that they're ruining her fun as though any of that were under her control. Well, that's the funny part too, though, because people like freaking Casey Tron, you know, one of Hassan's orbiters, she's always calling everybody and everything. Yeah, it's the inverse of cunt. Exactly. She calls everyone incel. Even people who are married, dating, who have active sex lives, like, the term doesn't mean what it sounds like. It means involuntary celibate, but what it basically means, it's just another way to call a guy a loser. That's it. It's used by 5 out of 10 women and lower women against 7 out of 10 guys. Yeah. The word no longer has any meaning. Dick is the inverse of cunt. Okay, but I think, I don't know. Like, most guys, if you call them a dick, they're like, I don't care. The word has no effect. So, moving on, we'll get to the Sydney Sweeney stuff in just a short while here. We'll kind of get through some of this stuff pretty fast. Collective Shout, the activist organization that is forcing, well, let's say, influencing credit card companies to force changed behavior among consumers and, platforms, has now responded to their actions and claimed full responsibility, courtesy of Pirate Nation on Twitter. And you can see this right here from their Steam campaign timeline, a screenshot from their website. It says, in response to false claims and misinformation about our campaign, we're setting the record straight. Some have asked why we involve payment processors, and others have claimed that we're responsible for itch.io removing all NSFW content. We raised our objection to those type of games, you all know what I'm talking about, on Steam for months, and they ignored us for months. We approached payment processors because Steam did not respond to us. We called on itch.io to remove these things, and that we argued against normalized violence and abuse of women. Itch.io made the decision to remove all NSFW content. Our objections were to content that involved violence and torture of women. So basically, they're just admitting that they strong-armed them, is what they did. Well, Steam wouldn't listen to us, so we went behind their back to the payment processors. That's what we did. Speaking of Smash, did his photos on the T app leak too? Smash is married, dude. What are you talking about? Who brought up Smash? I know you don't like him, dude, but nobody even mentioned him. Shows enough for low IQ. She probably calls everyone she doesn't like Nazi. Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes, Mari. That's exactly what it is. I'm a proud istphobe since none of the ist words or phobe words hold any meaning now. Yeah. No, the more you use a word, the less it actually has any meaning. So you can see from Collective Shout's website, of course, they have this massive campaign, ban adult material on X. They've done things like they've talked about in the past, like Madame Savvy's covered, where they convinced a bakery to change the t-shirts that they had their employees wearing because it said best buns in town or something like that. Some just play on words. Again, absolutely like menial crap, nothing even that big of a deal. What is this vagueness? What did they do to have this much of an effect, and was it legal? I don't know, man. Pressure. It's just a coordinated campaign where they basically pressured the credit card companies to pressure Steam. Is what it is. Hey, Tailfin, I just saw you join Discord. I'm going to push you through for verification. My bot, if you're on mobile, is going to be a dick to you, so... Oh, you're already verified. Perfect. Never mind. You should be able to see all the channels now. Is there actually prawn on X? Yes. Even if you're not looking for it. Okay. I wonder why they went after Steam and itch.io. Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, that song that we played from DB Wild, I pinned it in the chat here. That's exactly it. They go after the fictional stuff. They go after the... the digital stuff, the stuff that the incels play, right? Sent MasterCard a complaint last night. Be fully digging into this one and fighting back against it. Yeah. Let me get a bottle of water, guys. I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec. How long before you think this woman from Collective Shout fade away? No. TV Wild, you found the word. Oh my god, that was the word. Oh, and Patriot went to bed, dude. No. Don't like majority of the Collective Shout people have ties to the government, other kinds of nepotism and ties. Yeah. Collective Shout logo looks like a puckering bung. Oh my god. That's actually really funny. Well, it also has resemblance of like the Imperial logo. All right, so I'm going to look up the proper pronunciation of that word before I actually butcher it, because once I know the proper way of saying it, I'll remember the wrong way that I said it. So hang on a second. Let me see. What does it mean in Hindi? I don't care what it means in Hindi. Yes, so the word is supposed to be, I believe, obsolescence. Let me turn up my volume here. Obsolescence is how you're supposed to pronounce it, I'm pretty sure. Obsolescence. Yes, obsolescence. And I'm pretty sure I said obsolescence was my first try, which, to be fair, isn't that far off. But yes, it was obsolescence. Hey, Patriot, you're still here. Yeah, so I pronounced it obsolescence. Yep. Oh, no, I had heard the word, but the problem is, Patriot, I had never said the word. I'd read it 1,000 times. I never had to say it out loud. That was the thing. Yeah, obsolescence. Dude, man, I cannot believe you remembered that. Kudos to you, buddy. That is incredible. Now that we've talked about it twice on stream, that word is locked in. I'm never going to forget that word. Obsolescence. There we go. I'm going to get that tattooed. That'll be the next tattoo I get. It's been 5 years since I got a tattoo, but I'll get obsolescence tattooed on me somewhere. Yeah, no, I said obsolescence. Which again it's a butcher of it, but whatever. So again, their website is the usual like activist feminist crap. Child protection experts backing our campaign speak out on games normalizing abuse. First off, I've got a couple opinions on this. I would never play games like that. Okay, I would never play games like No Mercy. I would never play games that have a certain type of content in them where the entire point of the game is abuse of anybody. But at the same time, this kind of goes back to the whole argument about violence in video games causing real-world violence. Unless there's a direct link between these games and this fictional material actually linking to real-world abuse, I don't understand. Like somebody else pointed out, like OnlyFans and everything else. Why don't you go after the stuff that's actually happening in real life? Like the real abuse material, instead of this crap right here, right? Of course, Collective Shout still has their posts protected. Savvy pointing out that Alyssa Mercante is now, quote, joining the fray. However, dared to mock me and say terrible things about me previously. She couldn't see why defending No Mercy was so important. Of course, No Mercy being the very spicy. No, this is not in context of Stop Killing Games. This is a campaign, again, to get credit card companies and payment processors to drop platforms that allow certain types of content. So the entire... Yeah, those are already illegal. They're trying to remove things that no reasonable person would view as a problem. This is where we get into this really gray area, right? You can morally disagree with something. You can say, I would never do this, I would never play this, I would never watch this. But it's not, if it's not illegal, just like however, okay, I've talked about, again, personal opinion, right? Like this is my personal beef with the credit card companies. If I want to go buy a new revolver or go buy a new handgun or go buy a shotgun, the credit card company who has approved me for a certain amount of money should not be able to say, we don't want you buying a shotgun because we have a problem with that. Well, you gave me the money, right? I should be able to go spend that money on anything legally purchasable within my state and within my country that I live in. So the idea, was the planned obsolescence in context? No, it was a Ubisoft thing. So this goes back to the idea that these games were not illegal. They were not crossing any legal boundaries. They were on platforms being sold legally. They were not like, dark web kind of crap. There was no actual abuse of real people in the games. But the activists put the pressure on the credit card companies to say, you shouldn't allow these platforms to have this kind of material, and if you do, we're going to protest against you. So it's a sad day when skin peddlers stand up harder than sites who are selling digital entertainment. Yeah. They just delisted everything tagged as NSFW. Not that I play them, but those weren't all problematic games, right? Yeah, and Visa being reported by the Japanese government. There's a lot of shit going on all at once, you know? Yeah, I'm never going to take any opinion about any entity that supports and defends shit like cuties seriously. They can all go F right off. 100% agreed. Because again, the people over here at the Collective Shout have written essentially about how maybe cuties is not bad because it shows the abuse going on of minors or some dumb shit like that. It's like, look, guys, they still had to have children act in a sexualized manner for that movie to portray the abuse of minors. And again, what about all the girls who auditioned for that film? Where are all their audition tapes? Like, come on. But yeah, Joe Darkness, they always go, think of the children. Won't somebody think of the children, right? That's how it always goes. So you've got Savvy saying she couldn't see why defending No Mercy was so important. Alyssa Mercante cheered on Collective Shout and now wants to try to contribute. No, the only one with morals for sale is you, Alyssa. I've been consistent from day one. You have not. And so, again, this is Alyssa Mercante tweeting out at some point saying, I think I found the Collective Shout lady's Joker origin story. She wrote a book, apparently, that says he chose porn over me, women harmed by men who use porn. And obviously, Alyssa Mercante is not going to have a problem with that because she self-admittedly was a cam girl at one point. But this was Alyssa Mercante back in April saying that she was shocked the alt-right gaming grifters have found a new low in lamenting the removal of a specific type of game, but I guess subterranean goblin freaks can always dig deeper. And of course, she had Savvy quote tweeted down here below. Chibi Review says, remember all this censorship started years ago with anime and manga. Don't ever forget that. And actually, that's another thing. Anime and manga are getting heavily censored still, like pretty heavily. Planning to get tattoos with small size or medium size iconic superhero symbols and Godzilla tattoos. That could be pretty cool. Just make sure that you go somewhere reputable and make sure that you know for sure what you want, because they don't come off. You got to make sure that you're ready to get them and that they mean something or that they at least look cool to you, you know? Yeah, OnlyFans gets a pass for women's empowerment. Exactly. Not sure if the bigger post was nixed, but I had one before the skin peddler comment. Let me see. I'll scroll back up. Give me a second. Let me see. You said that they tried going after PH and OF, but both of those sites fought back. I remember they tried going after OF a while back. And the whole thing about OnlyFans is that they were going to have to change all the content on their platform. They were going to have to like revamp and not allow any of the stuff that makes them money on there, right? Which is crazy to think about. And that's proving that interest revenue that the processors get from money spent on those sites is too lucrative. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That whole movement was to remove all adult material from OF, and that never happened. They basically made it where almost all imports from Japan are banned there. That's crazy. The fact that Mercante referred to the Collective Shout gal as a joker tells you a little bit about how she feels about this group. Strange. Well, because I'm telling you from what I've seen, Denial of Service says, I also read why they defended cuties, and it was Collective Shout using it as a tool to draw in people to be aware of the social issues of such content. There wasn't any backlash then. So the thing about Collective Shout, from what I understand, is that they are a conservative, right-wing, feminist type site. So they're all about protecting women, but they're also I guess they're anti-porn, anti-abortion, because not from like a feminist perspective, but more from like a traditional perspective. But then there is the feminist side of it where it's like men are awful, men are evil, men are doing all these terrible things with fiction, and it's leading to real world harm against women, which I don't think that there's any studies that can prove that again. So Chibi Review says, I appreciate everyone private DMing me with new info or just thanking me on covering this topic. I'm passionate about freedom of expression within fiction. You can see the Pixiv art website announced an update to its terms of service on Tuesday, also warned that some users are violating its brand protection for Cards Network's policy on transactions of prohibited content through the site's booth. You've got here exploitation of a minor. Ugh, God. Yeah, see, again, here's the thing. Is this anything that would have any interest to me at all? Absolutely not. Is it stuff that I would defend, like, with my life, die on the hill of defending bestiality or something? No. But once again, if it's not illegal and it's fiction and there's no actual people being harmed, it's up to, again, the actual authorities to determine whether or not a crime's being committed. And if there's no crime being committed, a credit card processor shouldn't be able to tell you, you can't have this because we don't like it. That's just not the way it should work. So they're anti-abortion and porn radical feminists, not on the right, just called that by far left. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Well, I mean, you hardly ever see, I'm not going to say never, you hardly ever see anti-abortion pro-feminist. It seems to like never exist because the argument for abortion is it's the woman's body, right? That's a very feminist talking point. Hook, I got into that little bit of trouble on Twitter because somebody said you cannot be a pro-choice Christian, and everyone's like, yes, you can. This is a terrible take. I'm like, you can be pro-choice. You can be pro keeping your legs closed. That's about as pro-choice as you can be as a Christian. Everyone's like, oh, I hope something terrible happens to a woman in your life. I'm like, wow, that's really a very, level-headed thought there. First off, they've already proven, I think, that like 7% total of abortions are anything that wasn't consensual. So, yeah. The Beast one was killed by Visa in the early 2000s. It's like a Muslim eating pork, just wrong, exactly. Or actually a Jewish person eating pork too, right? Pretty sure they're not allowed to have pork either. Since we are running late on time, and I do need to get some sleep here pretty soon, we're going to wrap this part up and we'll jump right ahead to, okay, so this ties into with this Online Safety Act over in the UK. Basically, government needs to play daddy, and they're going to restrict even more heavily what people can find online with age verification, IDs, all that kind of stuff. The same shit that we're seeing get leaked on that T app, of course, the government's going to make you do online now. And of course, age verification in the UK is going to start having an effect on Microsoft and Xbox. Sorry to tell you that, Cage, buddy. I know you're an Xbot. But Microsoft says age verification in the UK and Xbox's ongoing commitment to player safety from the vice president of gaming over at Xbox. So apparently this is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a thing. Wait, Hindis can eat American cows because they're not sacred? I didn't know that. They were talking about, and apparently I fell behind in the video. What are we talking about? Why you keep talking about food? I don't know, but I ate dinner like 5 hours ago and I'm hungry now, but I got to go to bed soon. All right. So we kind of saved the best for last, we should say. So from the New York Post, Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad slammed as Nazi propaganda by crazed woke mob over jeans/jeans pun. If you haven't seen this, and I'll say it again, I've said it before, I don't think Sydney Sweeney is like the most incredible looking woman on the planet. I think she's a nice looking girl. I understand why she's popular. Don't think that she's like the most incredible actress, obviously, but that's not what she's known for. But she did this American Eagle ad where they made a joke about how she has nice genes, as in denim jeans or genetics, and people are losing their shit over it. Fox News says American Eagle's newest campaign is sparking major backlash online, while some are praising the brand for ending woke advertising, which is true because before this they were having like these obese black women in their jeans. Others are calling it tone deaf. The funniest thing is it's nothing even like that crazy. Now, I used to shop at American Eagle. When I was a teenager, Target and American Eagle are the two places I would buy all my clothing, all my jeans, all my t-shirts. I wouldn't, but she's not ugly, right, Hook? So she's got a nice rack. Let's be honest. That's why she's popular, right? But at the end of the day, American Eagle was very much if we can say it on YouTube without getting censored or in trouble, American Eagle was a teenage white guy, white girl clothing store. That's what it was. That's what it was designed for. You know, she's gorgeous, but checkout girls used to be too. Right. Well, yeah, there you go. That's kind of the issue we have here. So it makes sense, in my opinion, that a place that sells traditionally to what used to be their demographic would find somebody who's blonde, attractive, you know, even if not white, still attractive and fit. Another Kick bot. I love that when I know that there's nobody on Kick but the bots watching me, that they're trying to get me to buy bots. It's like, why would I buy your bots? The only ones watching me right now are bots on Kick. Like, piss off, dude. I don't find her attractive. Why people care? It must be the angry people who push the women who are vaguely attractive or sexism thing. Well, that's why they're saying it's like a Nazi dog whistle, dude, because the jeans comment. Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. That's it. That's the line right there that has them so pissed off, right? Yeah, American Eagle and Aeropostale are frat uniforms, basically. Zero folks remember to like the stream. Apparently it matters for some reason. Ah, it's all good, dude. I don't like being that person. Wait, she's a 6.5. Who said she's a 6? Here's the thing. I don't think she has the prettiest face. Like, there are moments where she's all glammed up and she looks really good. But, no, not 6.5 feet tall. He's saying she's like a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, there were hotter girls working the Blockbuster down the road in the 90s. I don't find her all that attractive when she's doing the model act. Right. No, I think to be fair, most people feel the same way. I think that like most of us are going to feel kind of the same way about that. Now, there might be somebody who thinks like she's a goddess, like she's the most incredible looking woman to ever grace the silver screen, right? And that's fine. She has status, which bumps her number up. Yeah, exactly. Let me see here. But yeah, if you look at this right here from End Wokeness on Twitter, one ad with an attractive white woman is all it took for the media to lose its mind, okay? Yahoo.com, Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad faces backlash for racial undertone. NBC News, American Eagle sparks backlash for touting Sydney Sweeney's great genes. Fox News, Sydney Sweeney's racy ad sparks outrage, but fans defend anti-woke style. Salon.com, Sydney Sweeney's new campaign draws fire for racial undertones. Let's see. Newsweek, Sydney Sweeney fronts ad campaign for jeans, sparks debate about eugenics. Okay. Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle campaign sparks intense criticism. The marketing magic behind Sydney. Oh, that's a positive one. Analysis, how American Eagle's Sydney Sweeney good jeans ad went wrong. And here we go. We're going to end off with Retard Finder on Twitter, because this is going to kind of encapsulate it. You've got the septum piercing, the unwashed hair, the glasses, the fat face, the trans pride flag in the background. This is like everything you'd want out of this kind of video, right? T subscribers, exactly. And yeah, a lot of celebrities do look terrible with that makeup on. That's true. But yeah, I'm just going to turn the volume down a smidge because I don't know how loud this chick is.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
Didn't we just see that same lady earlier? Yeah, pretty much. That's where I thought this kind of, a lot of this stuff tonight that we were talking about just kind of all wrapped together between, again, Online Safety Act, censorship, T-App, women hating on men, women hating on women, women hating anything that goes against this whole DEI thing where all of our models, like, guys, have any of you guys been to a Target recently? I know Target sucks, okay? Target used to be great when I was like a kid and a teenager. I loved Target back in like the early 2000s, late 90s. But if you go to Target right now and you just look around, every ad, every model, every poster they have up in the store is some random person with a missing limb or vitiligo, or some obese person, some person with like 2 heads, some person in a wheelchair. It's like, I get it. You want to, try to be inclusive, and you're trying to show people, look, you can wear our clothing too, even if you're a fat, trans, lesbian, black chick in a wheelchair. But at the end of the day, that's not who you are supposed to have modeling clothing. Whether it's a white person, black person, Asian person, Mexican, doesn't matter. They should look good in the clothing. The clothing should look good on them, right? Closest Target is 2 hours away. Well, you're not missing anything, dude. Yeah, the flag on the back wall, man. It's the freaking icing on the cake. I don't know, Susano. You know what I'm saying. Doesn't know the definition of words that she spits out. No, you're true. She doesn't know the definition of words she spits out. Brown Pikachu on the left side and trans flag on the right. Yep. I know they exist, but where do they find them? I mean, there's that chick that just got married that has 2 heads. Dude, I was watching a video on that. That girl, her and her sister, have 4 lungs, 2 hearts, 2 livers, 2 stomachs. I mean, like, everything from the waist up is completely split separate. It's absolutely incredible. And the fact that they're still alive is absolutely amazing. They're in their 20s or something. Try LA police gear. Huh. I'll have to look into that. I buy a pair of jeans like once every 3 years. Let me tell you who's not cute, Zendaya. Dude, honestly, yeah. No, that's one of those Zendaya or Zendaya, however the frick you say her name. I just can't. I can't with that chick. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I need to go walk the dog and go sleep because this is still another crazy work week. We're getting better. We're getting there, but it's still... Things are going to start quieting down for me in hopefully about a week or 2. High-level racists, I can tell people about their great-grandparents just by a pic. I can't figure out what the F's in diet. Yeah, DB Wild, I bought a pair of jeans at Kohl's. And I don't shop at Kohl's, but they were the one place I hadn't checked it for jeans because I needed to go to a buddy's wedding a couple years ago over in Oklahoma in October. So I went and I bought the pair of jeans for like $35, and that is my good pair of jeans. Okay? It's the only pair of jeans I own that doesn't have a hole in the knee. And I wear those like anytime that I'm wearing jeans, that's the pair of jeans I wear, and that's the only one I own. Only thing she's known for is wiping her butt. I don't even know, man. I have no idea. But she's just that whole expressionless, the racially ambiguous. Zendaya is kind of like what the modern like demographic is pushing for when it comes to like when they talk about like modern audiences. The Zendayas of the world, that's what they want. She's not conventionally like beautiful. She doesn't have big boobs. She doesn't have curves. She doesn't have a distinct look. You can tell she's mixed, but you don't know what the hell she's mixed with. That's exactly what it is. That's what they're pushing for. So, yeah, exactly what Hook just said. So, don't like tall girls? Everybody prefers short girls, but you guys, here's the thing. I mean, I'm married, so I don't have to speak to this. Leave some of the shorter girls for the short guys. There are other short kings out there who need a short girl. If you're a tall guy, marry somebody who's at least a few inches shorter than you, but like don't be like a 6'7" guy with a 5'4" girl. Like that's just not cool, man. 30 to 50 minutes? Nah, dude, I like to do a couple hours, like an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's kind of the sweet spot for me. When we go past 2 hours, which right now we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes, that's when I start to have problems, but it's all good. I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Wait, who looks fine? Zendaya? No, she's not ugly to me. She's just, Zendaya just represents everything that Hollywood is turning into. It's not that she's hideous. It's that she's blah. I don't know. Why we're throwing shade at Z? Well, I mean, she's kind of like the girl version of Pedro Pascal right now. She's in so many different things. And I think she's overhyped. I think she's overrated. I don't think she's a terribly great actress. I think that she's unfortunately, I don't know, mid. You're 6'3" and your ex-wife is 5 foot. Well, now she can go be some other short guy's wife. There you go. Super bred bland, yeah. Size compatibility issues when too short, yeah. You have a good day, Mari. I know it's not night there for you. 5'2" or 5'3" is much better. I get that. But as a guy who's not tall, I'm still tall compared to like someone who's 5'2". Versus if I was dating somebody who was right at my height, I would feel inadequate maybe. Like my wife is enough shorter than me that without being like much shorter than me, that it doesn't bother me. But to be fair, I probably wouldn't care if I dated a taller girl. There have been tall girls that in the past I thought were attractive, so who knows? I don't know, guys. It's all irrelevant at this point. Anyways. Boy, I'm hungry. God, why did I eat so early? I should have had less snack before the stream or something. Holy crap. All right, guys. I'm going to go to sleep so that I don't think about the fact of how hungry I am. So I will catch you guys maybe Wednesday if we do a stream. You haven't dated a girl under 5'5". Good man there. Leave the really short ones for the really short guys. Well, yeah, Black Cat, that's the thing. Even if you're a short guy, you can make up for it if you get enough muscle mass, you know? Well, Trump the 47th, you are taller than me, man. I've said for a long time, short king over here. All right, guys, appreciate you all. Thank you all for hanging.